Hello there, saints. My name is Gertrude Dzirasa-Payne of DP Global Ministries. For those of you that do not know me, I am super excited about a 30-part series that I'm about to start on the 3rd of January, and I would like to invite you to join me. The theme for that discussion and prayer and teaching is going to be on repositioning, realigning, restructuring, and re-strategizing according to the will of God for our lives. Many of us find ourselves on a trajectory that is taking us nowhere. Many of us keep repeating certain things over and over and over, expecting to get a different result. Many of us have strayed off the path that God has chosen for us. Many of us think that there's a particular path that is right for us and we continue to go, but all we experience is failure upon failure upon failure. Beloved, stress no more. Let us go through the Bible. Let us delve through the Bible. We are going to look at characters in the Bible that veered off course and how they managed to get their life back on track and how God helped to realign them and reposition them. And I'm going to be telling you a lot about myself, because I remember 5 years into business myself, I went through a difficult situation. I found myself between a hard place and a rock. I was on the edge of anxiety constantly for 3 weeks, until one day I had to come to realization. I asked myself a very difficult question, that what would happen if I lose this business? What can I do to sustain this business? Or what can I do? What exactly is happening in this business? And it was not till I began to restructure. It was not until I began to re-strategize, because the strategy that I had was not enough to accommodate the success that was coming. The foundation and the structures that was in place could not accommodate the success and the business that was coming in. The growth that I was experiencing, my foundations was not good enough for it. And so I had to make a decision that I was either going to restructure, I was either going to reposition myself, rebrand myself, or I was just going to watch everything go up in flames. And so I began to rebrand, to reposition, restructure myself, and realign according to the will of God for my life. And every now and then, I have to do this again. I always have to look at the business. I always have to look at what I'm doing and ask myself if what I've got is enough for the times that I find myself in, because we find ourselves in different seasons and different times, brothers and sisters. So every now and then we have got to ask ourselves these questions. So I want to invite you to join me. One of the characters that I want to be looking at, and I will encourage you to read on if you already don't know the story, comes from Luke chapter 15, verse 11 to 32. It's talking about a prodigal son. We are told that a certain man had 2 sons, and his younger son walked up to him the one day and said, "Dad, I want my share of my inheritance." And we are told that after he was given his half of the inheritance, a few days later, he went off to a foreign land and he squandered all his blessings. Or everything that his father had given, all the inheritance were gone. And we are told that famine began to strike in that land, and he teamed up with a citizen of that land, and he was asked to go and feed the pigs in the field. Things got so hard that he did not even have food to eat, and he was on the verge of eating pig food. But I tell you something great and something strange happened to him, because the scriptures tells us that he came to himself. When the scripture says that he came to himself, it means that he stepped into revelation. He stepped into revelation about who he is, who he was, what he was doing, and he began to pivot. And what he did was he says, "I am going to go back to my father's house, because in my father's house even servants have food to eat. So I am going to go back to my father's house." He was ready to realign. He was ready to restructure. He was ready to reposition himself. And he went back to his father's house, and his father embraced him. So I want to talk to somebody who thinks that I have gone down a path that I shouldn't, and think that it is too late. It is never too late for our God. Anyone that thinks that I'm in a business and the business is not doing well, come, let's hear what God has to say, because you can restructure and re-strategize, reposition yourself, and you will begin to move from failure to success. So come and join me. Be a part of this. This will be viewing live every morning from 6:15 a.m. Monday to Fridays. And I would like to encourage you to join us on either YouTube or join us on Facebook. If you're watching this, I want you to hit the notification button below and also subscribe to this channel, and also ensure that you set your alarm clock to join us. If you can't join us at 6:15 in the morning UK time, you would always have it on YouTube and Facebook to join us. Beloved, may God richly bless you. Thank you.